Now, before we discuss both games tonight, Spurs gaffer Ange Postecoglou has rejected suggestions that winning the Europa League to save the season is similar to Erik ten Hag's FA Cup triumph with Man United last year. He said, do you want me to do the accent or not?
No, I was supposed to do it in English because your accent's appalling.
Well, mate, he said,
no, I'll wait to the accent now.
I heard people say, well, it's the equivalent of Man United winning the FA Cup. No, it ain't, mate. I'm sorry. It's not on any planet that's equivalent. Do you want me to carry on or not? You do. Others suggesting we're not worthy of the Champions League, mate. What we have before us is a semi-final in the Europa League competition and the opportunity, mate, to win a trophy and get Champions League football, mate. It's what we do. It's who we are, mate. That's what he said.
Do you know what? The Ten Hag one was... He's come off the back of winning the League Cup before and then the FA Cup. And so that almost tells you about ambition, because Manchester United won 2 trophies in 2 years and he still wasn't deemed good enough, because Manchester United, I mean, recently they've turned into one, but before that, they weren't a cup team. Everything was about the league form, the league success, and then if you had a domestic trophy alongside it, like a cup, FA Cup or League Cup, it's good. But for Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou, that will save an awful season. And I don't use that word lightly, awful.
Does it make it a great season?
It makes it a successful season. You can't call it a great season. I know what you mean by when you say great, because...
I think it does for Spurs.
Mate, Spurs...
I don't care, mate.
They're 16th.
No, I don't care. I think it's a great season. If Spurs win the Europa League, it's a great season.
The only team worse than them...
Doesn't matter.
No, but it does, Andy.
But a season is not one competition.
No, but your bread and butter is a league, right?
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it does.
You've got 4 competitions.
No,
right? They've won one of them. That's unbelievable.
No, it's all about the league. First and foremost, your bread and butter. The only team worse than them that hasn't gone down is West Ham.
Hold on. You say... Right. Let's dissect it. You say it's only about the league.
Yeah, no, you start with a league. That's where you start with. That's what you're judged on.
Spurs are not going to win the Premier League, realistically.
Yeah.
Right, they're not.
You never know, but yeah.
Okay. So Tottenham's aim at the beginning of the season is to get Champions League football.
Mm-hmm.
If they get it, it's a great season.
It's not a great season.
If they get it via winning the European competition, even better.
It's not a great season. They've lost 19 league games.
It's not about... I think you're blinkered to think it's about one competition.
It is definitely not about Europa League football. It was about finishing as high up in the Premier League.
No, I disagree with you.
Oh, when Spurs fans will call up.
No, but it's not about finishing as high up. It's about finishing top 5 for Champions League football.
No, but 16th for Spurs Football Club is not good enough.
No,
they've lost. Okay, so why do they want them out then? If it's a great season, why do they want them out? If it's a great season,
he's not a good manager.
No, that's irrelevant, because if it's a great season,
it's not all about one competition.
Okay, but if it's a great season, you don't want him out.
It's a great season.
If your manager's having a great season and the team's having a great season, there's not uproar. There's uproar down there. And rightly so, because a club...
What you say is correct, but it's still a great season.
Andy.
If you said to Spurs fans, right, hold on. If you said to Spurs fans, everything's irrelevant, but I'm going to give you Champions League football and silverware. Do you want it? They'd all say yes.
The last family had come on, said that he doesn't want a trophy, he just wants them gone.
Yeah, but that's insane. That's insane, isn't it?
Mate, I'm telling you now, if Spurs win it, yes, they would have got Champions League football, fair play, won the trophy. It's been an awful season. Awful.
No, it's been an awful Premier League season. It's not been an awful season.
Okay, your bread and butter's been terrible.
Yeah, but they're never going to eat the bread and butter, ever.
Honestly, it's I'm telling you, it's...
Let me ask you about what Ange has asked the question. Others are suggesting we're not worthy of Champions League football if you win the Europa League. What do you make of that?
They're not worthy of Champions League football in terms of their league form, like earning the right to be in there. But if you win the Europa, then you're in it, regardless.
I know that, but are you worthy of it? Because people are saying that sneaking into the Champions League by winning the Europa League is a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah, but it's not a cop-out because it's been the same for years. So why is it a cop-out now? It's been the same for years, man. Years and years.
But what's your view on that?
I don't mind it.
Because, okay.
If you win a competition, there's always got to be a step up. And I think you win the conference, Europa. You win the Europa, the next step is the Champions League.
But the only reason this rule was brought in is so people would take the competition seriously, right? Mm. Now, when you think about how Man United, if Man United win this competition, and we've got Champions League football next season, the route...
Okay, have you had a great season?
Hold on, let me answer that in a minute. But the route for Man United to get Champions League football over 2 years has been FA Cup and Europa League.
Yeah.
We haven't got it via the Premier League.
No.
Now, what does that tell you about whether or not Manchester United should be worthy of playing Champions League football? Because to get there, they didn't get top 1, top 2, top 3, but they won the FA Cup and then they won the Europa League. Is that fair?
It's fair, because I just think the rules are the rules. And I understand why UEFA have done that, to make the Europa more attractive. 100%. But I like the fact now that if you don't qualify in the Champions League, you don't go down to the Europa. That I never liked. You know, when you fall out of the Champions League.
I agree with you.
I hated that. I never liked that.
Yeah.
But if you being a Man United fan, if you win the Europa League and you look back at this season, you won't go, it's been a fantastic season.
Who?
You.
If what?
Even if you win the Europa,
No.
you won't look back at this season and go, mate, terrible season. Not terrible.
But Spurs will.
What they'll say? What?
Good season.
No, they won't. They won't.
Bentley, they get Champions League football, win the European competition.
No,
it's a great season.
They'll say it's been a really successful season and we're delighted with the cup. But if you open your eyes and look at what's happened this season,
I don't think it matters. They're never going to win the Prem. I think it's a great season for Spurs.
It's the lowest, they're 16th.
It doesn't matter, mate. It's not one competition.
Okay,
would you ever look at a team and go, like Aston Villa, right? Would you ever go,
okay,
sorry, hold on, let me finish that question.
If it's one competition,
yeah,
why just sack Ten Hag then?
But let me ask you a question. If Aston Villa get 5th, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go, would you go, yeah, but 3rd round FA Cup, 3rd round League Cup. So not a great season. You go, well, overall, surely you mark it overall.
No, I don't think you do. You probably
do.
You do to some aspect, but bread and butter, the fans are watching your team week in, week out. So every single week is Premier League football, right? And you're 16th.
Let me tell you now.
You've watched your team lose 19 times.
Spurs would take winning European Cups every year
and finishing there
and 16 every year.
Well, about every year is different because that means you're winning a trophy every year.
No, because that's what it's about overall.
No, but you still look back at this season and go, it's been disappointing.
Okay, let me exaggerate a point to prove a point. If Spurs finish 16th, let's say 17th,
yeah,
and win the Europa League and won the FA Cup.
And won the FA Cup.
Yeah, great season.
But that's 2 trophies.
I know,
that's different.
I know, but I'm asking, great season?
Yeah, because it's 2.
So you're giving it great season just because of an FA Cup win?
Well, it's 2. But I don't see how you look back at this season and go, oh my goodness. Because if it's a great season, there's no uproar.
Yeah, but because you want to perform better in another comp.
Well, okay, but there's a difference between disappointed and uproar. There's literally uproar. We had fans coming on.
I'll give you
there's
that.
fans coming on going, we don't want to win it. Get him out. All I'm saying is, if they win the Europa, what fantastic. But a club like Spurs should not be 16th.
No, they shouldn't.
19. They've lost 19 games.
Spurs win the Europa League, the season, everything.
Grade out of 10.
Okay, the season, not league. The season.
Everything.
8.
Oh no.
What do you think?
I'd say.
Winning the second biggest European trophy.
That's huge, huge. But
that's an unbelievable season.
Watching team get smashed every week is not the one.
What's a better season for Spurs than winning European?
Well, their situation is strange because they haven't won something for so long.
What's a better season for Spurs?
So they're going to take any kind of trophy win.
But what is a better season for Spurs?
What do you mean? What's a better season?
What's a better season? So I've said winning the Europa League.
Yes.
8.
Yeah.
What's a 9?
Win the Europa League and finish in top 4.
Okay, and what's the 10?
Well, win the league.
Okay. So do you agree that 8 out of 10?
I don't know. That's a bit high, that.
Okay.
Guess, but that's a bit high. 8 out of 10.
Well, let's take calls on that, Spurs fans. If you win the Europa League, is it a great season? I think it is, because you've got to look at everything. FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League, and
I think
Europe.
great's the word. I think if you say good, maybe. Okay. Great is, come on.
And also, what do you make of teams sneaking into the Champions League by winning the Europa League? Is it a bit of a cop-out? 03717223344. We'll take calls in just a moment. A reminder, of course, both of those matches live on the talkSPORT network. We'll have team news as well in tonight's show.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.